Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about the all-important scheduling motions in the Fulton County trial. And I call them all important because they will determine trial date, and trial date here will determine trial finish date and might in fact determine other trial dates. Okay, three things to underscore. First, Judge McAfee issued an order saying, I'm going to have a hearing on December 1st, this Friday, and going into pretrial and scheduling motions. Now, he's indicated this before, and there's a whole flurry of things that he's received in pretrial motions since that has happened. But recall where things stand with Fulton County saying, how's about August? And with others saying, how's about later? And just yesterday with John Eastman saying, how's about earlier? You know, I'm broke and I want this plea, this final date to Fisher Cutbait on pleas to come soon. So McAfee all the way through so far has seemed to be an adroit, thoughtful, well-prepared manager of his own docket. So it's very possible come Friday we're going to learn quite a bit about his thinking for the trial date. And in particular, if he is assuming that things will be no earlier than Fani Willis is now calling for, this August date, then we know, first, no Fulton County verdict before the November 2024 election. And second, probably no Mar-a-Lago beginning of a case before November 2024. Okay, so that's the basic hearing Friday, and that'll be a good one to actually hear him get his sense. He often, he doesn't play it too coy. He gives what he's thinking of and what his problems are. All right, but he has identified two motions in particular that he's going to deal with on Friday, and those are the other two things I wanted to explain to you. One is from Mark Meadows, and Meadows is saying, I want to move back the deadlines because, recall, Meadows was the first guy to remove the case to federal court. He lost it, and it's now on appeal. And his pitch to McAfee is that that appeal should be all decided, because if he should happen to win the appeal and therefore the case be ordered to be tried in federal court, the things that have happened in state court so far could be duplicative or worse, could be in some ways even sort of prejudicial. Of course, it depends what they are, but he's asked to move things back about 3 or 4 months so that his cutoff for producing discovery would be February 15th of next year, a few months later than it is. That, to me, really got my spider sense going, because producing discovery. Remember how our whole first encounter with Mark Meadows is he gave over a sheaf of emails to the January 6th committee and then stopped. And that's when he was held in contempt. And that's when the motion went over to the DOJ that declined to try him for contempt, but query what it is that he wants to withhold in order to, as long as he can, in the hopes that the case might be removed, which hopes, by the way, I would say are vanishingly small. Okay, so we're going to hear from McAfee on that, whether he's going to give a pretty long extension for Meadows to let the 11th Circuit deal with the appeal of his removal motion. You filed that in federal court. The federal court said, no, go back to state court, and he appealed it. And that's one of the few sort of pretrial motions that you get to play out before trial, because your right is to actually have it heard in federal court. So if the district court, hypothetically, and not true here, had made the wrong decision, you would need to be able to appeal it before, because your very right is to not be in state court. Okay. So that's the first motion that McAfee says he will be turning to come Friday. The second motion that McAfee's order calls out by name is that of Jeff Clark. Remember him, the man who would be king at DOJ and basically tries to shake down department leadership to write a phony letter to all backed, by the way, by Donald Trump, with whom he's having completely improper and probably for him very intoxicating side conversations to shake down the department to write a letter to Georgia saying we've determined there's some fraud here, which of course would have been a bald-faced lie. Anyway, he is caught up in bar disciplinary proceedings over this very conduct, a little bit like Eastman here. And he's been trying to suspend those proceedings. And he's done all kinds of maneuvers. He also tried to remove his case to federal court and has appealed it. Anyway, his motion sets out all these deadlines in the disciplinary proceedings, says he's tried diligently to get them to hold them in abeyance, and takes a sort of broadside at the D.C. bar authorities, whom he suggests are doing this all for political reasons. So anyway, he is asking also, as is Meadows, let's delay things until the bar proceedings are finished, since I can't get the bar to suspend them. That's doesn't strike me as a very strong argument. Typically, it would go the other way. Recall, in fact, that the three lawyers who entered pleas already, each of them had language inserted in it to say this is not a crime of moral turpitude. That's, Chesbrough, Powell, and Ellis. And that's because they wanted to be able to fight any bar disciplinary proceedings. And that phrase is sort of kryptonite for losing your license. So the normal route that they would go, and that people generally go, you're convicted, and then maybe you lose your license or not. So what Clark is seeking to do is outside of the ordinary run of things. McAfee, as I've said, careful judge that he is, has put it on the hearing, and he's going to handle it, with some care, and he obviously has some things he wants to talk about there. So we're going to see what about Clark and Meadows' attempt to push forward. If they did do that, that could well sever effectively, or make for the possibility of more than one trial of this behemoth RICO case. That's tricky in and of itself. We'll see where McAfee is trending there. And then just generally in the hearing, I think we should get some good information. And in particular, in the wake of it, will it seem basically a done deal that the trial, whether it's 1 or 2, or as Eastman has asked for 3, 8 defendants, 8 defendants, and 1 Donald Trump all by himself, so he doesn't dirty everybody up. Don't see that happening. But anyway, whether it'll be more than one trial, and when it will be, if it's no sooner than August 5th, the political consequences that I've identified of the American public probably not getting this information, both here and Mar-a-Lago, probably will ensue. So that's why Friday's hearing bears close scrutiny. And if you're busy, not to worry, because I'll give it close scrutiny and I'll come back and report to everyone. Till then, talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.